This episode is sponsored by Zero Hour, patriotic apparel that you can find at zerohourusa.com. All right, we're here with Ray. Today, he's the owner of a Lucky Sevens game room here in Austin, Texas. And so we're excited to have you on. Thanks for coming on the show, man. Really appreciate it. And let's go ahead and just dive in, man. So let's tell me a little bit about where you came from, what you're doing. How did you get to a Lucky Sevens game room as a franchise buy?
So it all started, we have some really great friends that myself and my wife are really close to, and they started opening up a few locations, and their game rooms are not like the typical game rooms that you see that, look kind of shady, maybe running out of a house and everything's dark in there, and, not saying anybody's ever been raided, but we're definitely on the higher echelon of what that is. And basically it just all started, I've watched some of your episodes and how you talk about, you kind of come to that point and that 0 hour as you say it. And I just kind of came to that point where, I'm a police officer and, I want to make a better living for myself and my family. And I was like, I come to a point, I'm like, you know what, I'm just gotta risk it for the biscuit, right? You gotta go all in. And the opportunity presented itself, and we were able to find a location for Lucky Tiger, and we just kind of went from there, and we've been open since late October.
Okay, so it's called Lucky Tiger. My bad.
Lucky Tiger. It's all good. Lucky Tiger 777. It's
I always just see the 777s, and I'm like, oh, there it is, Lucky Sevens.
Yeah.
All right, so Lucky Tiger. My mistake.
No, you're good.
So that's a wild transition, going from law enforcement to a game room. That's
right.
Because we all have the mindset of game rooms, right? You've all read stories and stuff like that. So, it's kind of sometimes maybe a little shady and stuff like that. So being in law enforcement and the game room side, it's kind of cool because I feel like that almost legitimizes it a little bit more, right?
Right. We're completely legit. Like I said, we're basically a charity sweepstakes game room, right? So the way around all that goes is we also donate to nonprofits, so we have the Heroes Resource Center, which is, gives back to veterans and provides them with free resources. We have Safe Alliance to help stop child abuse and sexual assault, those kinds of things. We also do participate in the Food for All project, which I think they had a spot not too far from here, actually, where, helps people with food and stuff like that. And then we also sponsor the Guardians Brotherhood First Responder Motorcycle Club, which is actually mine. I own that as well. And, we give back to first responders and help with their families when they come in situations. And since I've started that nonprofit, we want to also help in the schools and with, people that don't have unpaid lunch tickets, that we help out with that. And cool. My wife's a teacher, so she kind of comes from that background, and the amount of money that the teachers have to spend themselves just to help provide the kids with the education they need is something you never think about. And just something as simple as they need copy paper. Really? You work for a school district and you need copy paper?
Yeah, that's a much bigger conversation.
Yeah, I'm not going to dive even into that because of everything else.
That's going to be on the next podcast I launch, 0 Hours After Dark. That's going to be the conversations we have there.
Yeah.
Break out the whiskey and we'll hang out and do that. Because I can do that all night long.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's super cool. That's something I want to do with 0 Hour is be able to start a 0 Hour foundation,
right? To
where we can take the proceeds that come in from that, or portion of the proceeds that come in from that, and support, especially in mental health and first responders.
Exactly.
I'm a veteran myself, and there's a lot of resources out there for us. And so don't get me wrong, I don't see as many resources for first responders, and there's not as much conversation around it.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially coming from a law enforcement background and all that, I think that mental health and first responders is just as important as our veterans. And so that's what I want to do. I eventually want to get to the point where I can build mine out into having, the charitable side of it. So that's awesome.
And we've all been in those situations where we probably could have used somebody to talk
to
and not had the resources.
Well, and that's the key too, right? Until I guess recently, most law enforcement agencies, and I'm going to speak specifically about law enforcement because that's where we came from,
right?
Most law enforcement agencies never had anything in place, no plan in place for anything. If you were in a critical incident, or, for us, we say critical incident, it's some big thing, but, on average, we see things, more often than the average person in a day than they do, in a lifetime.
Right.
And so, sometimes it just wears on you, and there's no resources out there for that, and they're just starting to pop up a little bit, but all that costs money. And municipalities and counties don't necessarily have the funding to take care of their officers that way.
Right.
And so I would love to be able to build out 0 Hour to where we have a foundation that's able to support that and help and grow it out.
Right.
Starting here in Central Texas, obviously, but eventually be nationwide. So
right. Even if it's just people that you have that have been in those same situations just to talk to.
Yeah, even like a peer support group,
right.
stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I'll have to get with you on that on the side. Yeah. I have to talk about that. That's cool. I didn't realize that you guys were doing like all the charity stuff with it. So that's awesome. So did you have you always wanted to own your own business, or did this just come up one day and you're like, I need something else?
Not necessarily. Back before I was a police officer, which I've been a cop now for 16 years. So it's been a minute, but
scary to say that out loud, huh?
Yeah, it is. I'm like, man, it's been doing some things. But before that, you always, I worked in retail. I was in management with retail and doing all that. So I've run kind of, not exactly run my own business, but I've run other people's businesses. Sure. So I'm like, yeah, this is a chance, an opportunity to provide for my future and, hopefully put me on a better path, with that part as far as retirement and things like that goes.
Well, yeah, because this, I've said it a couple of times. I've had a bunch of cops on so far because, that's a lot of people I know, obviously. Right. But that's one thing I say, the ride can't last forever.
No.
Like you can try to make it last forever, but it's so hard on your body. It's so hard on your mind. Yeah. Some guys do it and my hat's off to them, but it wasn't for me. I'm not going to do it for life.
Yeah. I can't imagine doing this till I'm like in my 60s.
Yeah. That's tough. That's a hard ride.
Yeah. And I stay as active as I can.
You're in great shape.
Well, I try, man. it still could be in better, but
if you're not watching the podcast, the dude's built like a monster. Don't let him fool you. All right. So if you're just listening,
I got to stay in the gym. Part of at least being somewhat lean is I owe to my wife because she's a runner. And she's like, yeah, why don't you come train with me for this half marathon I'm doing? And I got up to about 5 or 6 miles and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So I can run about 2 or 3 miles pretty good, but
you're not a small guy. You're not a runner.
I'm not a runner. I was good. I played football and stuff in college and stuff like that. I was good at sprints and stuff like that. But, what do you need to run more than a mile for?
Doctor said it to me one time. He's like, you're not built like a runner. He goes, maybe like sprints, but not a long distance runner. I'm like, bro, can you say that to me?
Yeah.
Is it you being honest?
I don't want to be running for 2 hours. Like that just...
and that's my thing. I already have enough problems. I don't sit down ever. I'm always doing something. Right, and of course, some people have talked about it on the show already. I just don't stop. I'm always doing something.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, okay, I'm in for 20 minutes of running. Okay, can we go to the next thing now? I don't know if it's an ADHD thing or I'm bored.
Move on.
I'm ready to do something else. So you had business experience in running other people's businesses and stuff. And of course, that's the managerial side of that and all that's very similar to running your own business, but there are definitely some other aspects of it that come into play.
Right.
So you didn't have I guess you have the motorcycle club though. So that's got a little bit of entrepreneurial piece in it. Cause when you're standing that up from the start, I've done the same thing, but when you're standing that up from the start, it's building something. It really is.
Right. Right. And I set that up. That was more so just kind of for me, to get out away from everything. And then it just kind of turned into something where I was starting to get more people and, get a group of guys together and that was my therapy. That was, my resource to escape of everything that we go through.
Well, that's good though. That was one thing too, when, when I was a cop was, I always told people, make sure that you have a backup plan, right?
Right.
So if you haven't watched one of my episodes before and you're listening and you're a cop, you should probably have a backup plan. And the other thing, of course, is have hobbies and interests outside of law enforcement and outside of your agency. Mingle with other people. It's super easy because it's a subculture, right? So it's super easy to ostracize yourself and not have something outside of that. So that's super cool to start something, combine a hobby that you enjoy with other like-minded individuals that gets you away from the job itself.
Yeah, definitely.
And you get to go participate in different events and do charity stuff with that, right? So that's definitely cool too. So you get another way to give back. So, I guess that was your only real entrepreneurial experience, huh?
Yeah. Like I said, it's been a process, and I definitely wish there were a lot of things that I knew starting that I've learned in the brief time that we've been open since.
Well, that's why I do the show,
right?
Because I had the same things as I was going through. I didn't have entrepreneurial experience in 2015.
Yeah,
I started a brand line called 60 Deep, and it was me and a buddy of mine, and we were like, let's do some scuba diving shirts because that was my escape, right?
Right.
And so we started doing scuba diving designs and getting them shipped off to, Printify and stuff. And I was like, man, there's no quality control and the pricing, there's no real margin in it. Let me see if I can learn how to screen print. So I pulled up on YouTube and started like learning how to screen print with like this little crappy forehead press.
Nice.
And like a light box. It was literally like a fluorescent light in a box. And I had so many problems just trying to learn. But I was doing it, right? Like I was grinding my way through it on YouTube. And eventually, obviously, I grew up now to where I've got the brand line and I've got it, a big shop and all that now. Or I don't say big shop, like there's some much bigger shops around me, but I've got a bigger shop for me. And so it's definitely one of those things where I get it because I walked in and didn't have any idea and I could have used some help because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So the idea with the podcast was getting people like you on that are in it, have stepped off into it. And hey, if you're going to jump into a franchise, you should probably know this. Or if you're going to start a business and you've never done it, you should probably know this because, it can be very scary and lonely. And again, it's a theme you'll hear on every episode of this podcast, I'm sure, because it's the one thing that we all learned was that you don't have to do it alone. Right. Like there's people that you can call.
Man, yeah, I know. And you take it on by yourself too, and you just expect to know everything or to try your best to get everything put together. And, I'll tell you, like, I mean, from the beginning, like the admin side of it was not my strong suit. And I'm still learning that part of it. I'm more so like, I'm entertaining. I'm the face. I can talk in front of people. I don't have a problem, making it fun for everybody. Like, that part is the part that came easy to me. But the other side of just,
the actual business side of it.
The actual business side of it.
You're like being the face of the business, I'm good.
Yeah.
Being the guy so a buddy of mine always tell me, he's like, I like to go out and make money and just throw it back here and let the bookkeeper take care of it because I don't really want to pay attention. Just go make money. Yeah. So for you, it's the same way. Like, I want to get the customers and talk to them, but I don't want to deal with the books and have to deal with all
this.
Oh, wait,
I am the bookkeeper too.
Well, that's it too, right? When you start out, especially, like, you're the janitor.
Right, yeah, everything.
I literally, so I have a team now, and so I one day walked in and I cleaned the toilets. Yeah. And I made sure they saw me clean the toilets or see me clean toilets. I was like, just so you know, I started cleaning the toilets, and I'll always clean the toilets if I have to.
Right.
Because that's where you start, right?
Right.
Like, I mean, I was doing your job.
Yeah. Like, I'll never ask, my employees to do something that I want to.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so that's a whole thing too, right? Because you have staff, like you have a full-time job that you're still working.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working full-time job. My wife is working full-time job, and we're still trying to run this at the same time.
That's the grind. Like, when we talk about building it, that's what you're doing right now. Like you are grinding it out and building it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I mean, that's exactly what this show is about for sure. So why not start from scratch? Like, so I guess that's the first question. Assuming you can start a game room from scratch, can't you?
You can.
Okay.
And you can, but good luck finding a spot that's going to approve you.
Okay.
So when this whole process started, the whole idea of when they started to want to franchise out or give the opportunities to be able to franchise out, well, I start calling all these places and looking at spots, square footages and empty boxes and different things like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, oh, okay, tell us about the business and what you do. And I'm like, well, we're a charity sweepstakes room. I'm like, well, what's that? And I'm like, we're like a game room, right? And you mean like video games? No. Like Vegas style games. And they're like, oh, no. We don't want that here. Like, I'm like, because you see, like I said, you see some of the game rooms around and, they're run out of like holes in the wall, and there's a lot of things that happen, and some of them are open 24 hours, and I'm like, nothing
good happens after what I
No. Like on Fridays and Saturdays we're open till midnight. That's plenty of time.
Well, that's true. Like when you read, because I follow that stuff.
Yeah.
And so when you read about like incidents that happen that stem from game room activity, it's always like 2 or 3 in the morning. It's never like
like 4 or 5 in the morning. Like they weren't even in the game room. They just stopped there to fight.
Like there was no reason they weren't there.
So this whole process for me, I mean, calls after calls after calls to all kinds of leasing agents and checking up on spots and waiting for return calls back. It took me 2 years to find somebody that actually said yes.
So was that before you decided to franchise? Were you going to try to do your own thing?
No. That was
with the franchise.
That was with that. And, so
2 years, man.
2 years.
Talk about being dedicated to the idea.
Phone. Like, I mean, some days I was making like 20 calls a day, like just, from, Taylor, Manor, Round Rock, Cedar Park, Georgetown, like everywhere, all this around. I think I even went down to like San Marcos. Like I was just trying to find somebody basically that say yes, that was in a spot that was, a decent area.
Sure.
And then, we finally had somebody say yes. And in 2023, Black Friday, I bought all this stuff like TVs and electronics that were on sale during Black Friday, refrigerators, microwaves, all this stuff. Because, back
2023?
then, 2023, because we had somebody in Bee Caves that were like, oh, yeah, we'll give you a chance. And then an incident happened somewhere in Austin, and they're like, oh, no, never mind. So I've had stuff sitting in my garage for 2 years.
So when did you guys open?
In October of last year.
Of 2025.
Like the end of October.
So the end of October 2025, and you had bought the TVs and all that in 2023.
December of 2023.
Oh,
like November,
man.
December of 2023.
The technology wasn't even the same anymore.
I know, right? I'm just glad they still work.
You're like, so the warranties up on that or here?
It's a little past 90 days. Can I? No.
Oh,
okay.
Man, that's crazy. 2 years.
2 years, man.
That's crazy. I bet a lot of people don't like drive that long. You know what I mean? So
Right.
2 years. Surely after 6 months, most people are probably like, let me find a different idea or something. So what made you stick with that idea?
I had already invested so much into,
Okay.
getting all these things.
So had you already bought into the franchise at that point?
No.
Okay.
No, I hadn't. We basically just had an agreement, us being the first franchise off of our partners.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and we're the only right now, and they have multiple locations. There's a location in Pflugerville. There's one in Round Rock. There's one in Hutto, and we're the one in
So
Austin.
all of those are owned by the same person.
Right. The same person, same group of
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
you are the franchisee.
Right.
That's awesome. That's a cool
Yeah.
place to be. Like that's ground level of something that
Yes.
could be really
so,
cool.
Yes.
I'm starting to see the allure in it on that angle.
Yeah. So but we have main all control of our our store. So
Yeah.
it was enticing, and like I said, there's definitely a lot of things from the beginning that we started off and we're like, oh man, we're gonna be slammed right off the bat. We need to have a manager. We need to have 3 people on a shift during the day, like a morning and mid and a closer, and just thinking back of with what I know now, it's like, well, now we're even working some of the shifts. It's like if I would have did that from the beginning instead of
Saves you a lot of overhead.
yeah, definitely prepare for, at the beginning, try and take more on yourself as far as coverage and payroll and all those kinds of things. Like definitely do more of that yourself so that you can save yourself at the beginning, because it definitely
I can relate to that.
definitely took a knock in the pocket.
Well, I think a lot of, I talked to a lot of different business owners on stuff, and I think that's something that's kind of common. A lot of places, because payroll is always, well, probably in most industries, going to be your heaviest hitter, right?
Right.
So when it comes to your expenses, payroll is typically going to be your biggest expense. So if you front load with a ton of payroll, you're already shooting yourself in the foot, because all that money's going out and you don't have steady income coming
Right.
in yet.
Right. And then you have to get them trained before you even open.
Sure.
So,
Not to mention, so then you go into all the other overhead of just leasing a space, the bills that come with that.
right.
And surely you guys have to have some kind of like insurance.
Oh,
like
yeah.
crazy insurance policy, right?
Yeah.
Like my insurance is pretty general. Like it's okay, here's your
Yeah.
$1 million coverage.
Yeah.
It's t-shirts. I'm probably not going to get sued over t-shirts.
Right. Right.
I'm probably not going to have any incidents over t-shirts or anything like that. Whereas you guys, there's a lot of different liabilities I'm sure they look at
Right.
and coverages that you need. So that's probably a pretty big chunk too, I'd guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Insurance was, I never had looked at business insurance and everything that went into it, and having to kind of have a somewhat inventory of everything that's in the store and,
Yeah.
other things that could happen. And,
Yeah. That's the part that gets me, is like the other things that could happen just because of the reputation of them. Right.
Right.
And that's the hard part too, is like you're battling an uphill battle, because there are a lot of shady game rooms out there, or there have been a lot of incidents at shady game rooms out there that haven't done things the right way.
Right.
And when I say a game room, I'm also lumping in like local bars and stuff that
Right.
have gaming machines in there, because
Right.
typically when you hear about there, once in a blue moon, there's like a raid on a game room itself, but typically it's like the bars that are doing
Mhm.
shady stuff, and it's like a little
Right.
side hustle for them. So I've seen that a bunch. So then you like think about that, and surely insurance companies look at that too, and they're like, well, I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if I want to take on the liability.
Yeah.
So did you have trouble finding insurance?
No, it actually wasn't too bad because I mean, being that we are a franchise, uh, we basically just went with the same people that provide the insurance to the other
So,
places. So,
so they already had an
they
established
have it
history.
right. They know what we're about. They know
Yeah.
like what we bring to the table and like what our stores look like inside, and that we're not
How
anything
you're
like
running
those other
operations and all
places.
that. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah,
So we kind of talked a little bit about, I guess, what appealed to you with franchising. So typically with a franchise, and I'll say, I'll just kind of dumb it down a little bit just because I don't know who's listening or watching. Like a franchise, you're buying into another company model, a business model typically. So it's here's how the model runs and this is how you do it.
yeah. Right.
But being the first franchisee, I would probably assume there wasn't a lot of model built out yet.
No, no, and that was something that was a struggle from the beginning because
Okay.
it was almost kind of like, oh, cool. Because I mean, my wife worked for them part time because like she's a teacher,
Okay.
right? And we all have extra jobs because of,
Absolutely.
like I said. So she worked for them for since they first started
Okay.
at their first location in Hutto, and so she knew kind of the ins and outs of a little bit of the operations and those kinds of things, right? So, um, I wish we would have had more help from the beginning as far as figuring out the other things like the marketing and
I feel like that's like the hardest thing in any
it's so
business.
hard, and like coming up with just ideas to get people in the room to get butts in the seat,
Yeah.
it's like, and then they find out about, oh, like, wow, this is so nice, like it's so open in here and it's so nice and everything's so clean and everything, like, well, yeah, like I mean, we're not the other
This is
places.
how we're running. This is our
This
business. This
is
is how
a
we do it.
business
Yeah.
like that we want to strive and last.
Yeah. So I guess so moving forward, hopefully you guys are working together to build out. So I guess is the plan for Lucky Tiger to grow in franchising and stuff or
Right now, like I said, this is our first location for my wife and I, and we just really want to get it to the place where it needs to be.
yeah.
And right now, that's just my only focus. So
That's
I'm not
always the
looking at
focus.
growing. There's plenty of opportunity for us to grow with what we have now. I don't need to take on any extra stress or branch out any further and take up my time. This is supposed to be where I get to my comfort level and this gets to operating on its own, and we could step back and let it run itself.
That's one of the coolest things about doing this show and talking to so many entrepreneurs is everybody has a different vision of where they're going. Like
Right.
me, I'm a grower. I want to build, 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 build. I want to get bigger, 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 bigger. Branch off and do something else and grow that out. I'm sure eventually I'm gonna get tired and worn out and be like, okay, I'm done.
Right.
But that's just my thing. I want to see things build into big things. Whereas a lot of people are either happy like as it's their daily job, and I'm a general contractor and I do the general contracting and I'm
Right.
good with that.
Right.
Or I have one shop and I'm growing the shop up to make it run smooth without me, and that's my residual, and it's just going to pay me out, and I'm just going
That's what I want.
to live on the
I want
beach.
this. I want this to grow so that, as a police officer, I don't have to do all the extra off-duty jobs.
Yeah.
As my wife's a teacher. She can retire when she wants to retire in a couple of years and not have to work another job after retirement. Like, this is so that we can step back and relax and actually get to enjoy our lives before it gets too late.
That's best thing I've ever heard.
You
Like
know?
we do, we're, and this is another one of those 0 hour after dark conversations, but we are so trained to work until we're old and gray to enjoy 10 years of our life.
Right. No, I don't want that.
Instead of grinding now, get it set up to where you can enjoy and go travel and do all that
Right.
and build that way. And so that's, the allure, of course, of starting your own business or buying into a franchise or running
Right.
your own stuff. Um, but a lot of people struggle with that or taking the leap because it's a risk.
Yeah, huge.
Like not even just like the risk of time and all that, but financially, it's a giant leap.
Yeah.
Um,
Everything you have goes into it.
yeah, so I can't even imagine 2 years. That still gets me every single time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like you said. So like this is how I said I wanted to grow so that I can kick back and relax. Now, my motorcycle club, I would love for that to blow up so that I can go do that to enjoy myself while this is taking care of itself. Like I would love
well,
for
let's
the
talk about that for a
okay,
second. All right, I want to learn more. All right, so it's what is it?
the Guardians Brotherhood.
Guardians
Yeah,
Brotherhood.
yeah.
Okay, cool. And it's local to Central Texas right now, right?
Right, right. We're here just in Round Rock. I have some guys in like Georgetown. I have one that's in San Marcos, and there's a few of us. There's probably like 5 or 6 of us, but we get together when we can, and it's, we're an MC and stuff, but it's not like we know we all have lives. We're all grown-ups. Not everybody can make everything.
Sure.
But you know what? You want to take a ride to go down to eat at Chewy's, or you want to take a ride to, just get out, for a minute
Get away.
to get away. Like, yeah, let's go.
That's cool.
This,
Keep it light
I
and
don't,
fun.
we're mainly open to, first responders. We do have guys that are just like-minded individuals. But we're open to, fire, EMS, veterans, police officers. We have blue, green, and red patches. So, that's just something to get away, to
So you
escape.
guys have a website and all that stuff. You're
Yeah,
on
yeah, we have a
Facebook?
Facebook page.
Okay.
It's funny because now starting this business, I've seen some of the things, we have a website for this business. I'm like, why did I never start a website for my motorcycle club? So I have one, but I haven't done all the
I don't
design.
have time for it right
I
now.
don't like,
Once you go in on a
I went
business,
to
you don't have
GoDaddy
time.
and I'm like, oh, cool, I could get this website, but
I have so many ideas
haven't-
parked like that.
I haven't set anything up for that. But yeah, we have a Facebook page and, we have some followers and things like that. But man,
Well, that's
just
cool. If you ride motorcycles and you're a first responder or military or anything like that, and you follow the show, go check them out. It might be
Yeah.
a good opportunity for you, even if you're not here local in Central Texas. If there's opportunities you want to grow it out. There's opportunities to start chapters other
yeah,
places.
there's tons of chapters all over the place. One of the first motorcycle clubs I was riding with, I mean, their main mother chapter was in Colorado.
Yep.
And I had just started riding, and I had switched I started with the Harley V-Rod, which is kind of like a smaller, bike than a touring bike. And they were going up to Colorado, and I was like, man, like they're gonna ride up there, and they're riding back, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm gonna switch and get me a bagger, and I had kind of just started riding, not even that long, and so I rode my bagger from the dealership to the trailer, and they trailered it up to Colorado for me, and then I flew up there because I was working,
Yeah.
and then the first time I really rode it was up there in the mountains of Colorado. So, getting whole used to another 300 pounds more of motorcycle, 400 pounds more of motorcycle up in the mountains where it's just like,
Absolutely.
woo, all of a sudden, if you're not paying attention,
Yeah.
that was different. And
Yeah,
then,
I rode with a couple clubs too, and the reason I brought up the clubs was because it's essentially it's building with Bruno, and what you're doing is you're building out a brand.
right,
The club is a brand,
right.
and so you're building that out the same way. But yeah, so I've done like an iron butt. So I did the Saddle Sport 1000 all the way around Texas in 24 hours. I did the Tour of Honor with that, and then me and a buddy of mine. So I was riding with a Freemason club, and we rode up to our annual rally up in North Carolina. And so we rode up to Kentucky, saw his son, down through into Maggie Valley, North Carolina, up through the Appalachian, all that, and then back down the southern route, back through Arkansas, and
Wow.
it was awesome trip. Unfortunately, my wife was like 9 months pregnant, like literally I had airports pinned, and I was like, if I have to leave my bike at an airport, I'm gonna have to fly back and get it, because she could have gone any time, and the fact that she let me go says a lot.
That's
Like,
amazing.
she's like,
Yeah.
yeah, you could go on this ride with your buddy for a week and ride motorcycles across the country while I'm about to have a baby.
Yeah, no problem.
No issue.
I'll call you.
Yeah, I'll call you if there's an issue. Looking back now, I was in my early 30s and now I'm 44, and I'm like, that probably wasn't the best idea. Like, even just trying to get a flight back, like, what if it was that fast? Like, I could have
Right.
easily missed
Yeah.
his
Been on a
birth. And
delay
then, like,
and missed it.
there's a fun story to tell. So I was riding my motorcycle.
Yeah, yeah. And I was really far away.
And I was really far away. So yeah, I probably should have thought about that one. So with the franchise side of it, like your wife was working for them already, so you guys were friends and or at least had a relationship. So did you have to buy into the franchise, or were you like in a position where it kind of worked out because of the relationship?
Well, I mean, basically the franchise presented itself, and like I said, I can't really go into like
Sure.
the
Whatever high
details,
level you can.
details of that. So the opportunity presented itself, and we were able to basically open our own.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool deal. But then you still had to incur like startup costs and all that.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So we talked about the issue of finding a building. Of course, that was dramatic. Um, so what is the average cost of a gaming machine? I don't even know. I've never even thought to look at that.
well, let's just say like business startup costs
Okay.
total. If you think about like construction and doing all that, you're starting, monies that you need to have to buy things, like you're looking like probably like 120, you know? And being a cop and being a teacher, you don't have 120 laying around, right?
Most of us at this level of business, like the people that we're talking to and the viewers that we have, don't have 120 grand laying around to
Right,
buy into a business.
So I kind of got lucky because through all those calls and all the headaches of doing all that, I found a leasing agent and a property manager that they took on the construction aspect of building the business how we wanted. So they took on that cost of that. So we got a big break of they were going to basically hand us over a place turnkey. All we had to do was set up the guts. So
Something went
so
right.
that cut a big portion of that. But thinking like I said, I don't know if it's too personal or not, but basically, like I said, being a teacher and a cop, so I had to take loans off of my vehicles that I already had paid off to be able to have a chance to get this started. So my motorcycle, that's my main motorcycle. I have a Saline Mustang that was paid off. I have loans on those now. Plus like just other loans that I could get. Like it couldn't get a business loan for myself because I'd never had a business. So it's not like I can go apply for a business loan and they're like, well, show us like what your revenue looks like, or
Yeah.
like
See, that's the
I'm
benefit
like,
that I have.
I don't know.
Yeah. Because we had started the smaller businesses out of my garage.
Right.
We were able to can't run a gaming shop out of your garage. That's where you get in trouble.
Right, exactly.
But starting the screen printing shops out of my garage, I was able to show that I've had experience in it and I knew what I was doing in at least the industry side of it, let alone the business side of it. So at least I was able to get that. So you starting out didn't have that. You had just had to finance against everything.
I had to
So you were
finance
all
against
in.
everything. I'm literally all in. Like I said, all my savings, my vehicles that have been paid off, like those loans are what got this started for me.
It's a pretty heavy motivation to succeed.
Yes.
There is no failure. There's no option for failure.
There's not, like, you can't eat that. Like, you lose everything.
I would ask you like the standard question, like when do you expect to break even and stuff like that, but
Don't know.
you don't. Like, it's a
You know.
crapshoot at this point.
Yes.
I love all these like gaming style, like Vegas style analogies that are coming out.
Right.
It's a
Right.
crapshoot.
It is. It's a gamble.
It's a
Even though
gamble.
you can't never say that, right? Because gambling is illegal.
Exactly.
So but
There's a whole other topic right there. Like you talk about, so we have the game rooms and stuff here because in Texas, gambling is outlawed, so you can't have a casino.
right,
You have to go up to Oklahoma or Louisiana to do that.
right.
But how does that, like, thinking forward in projections? I don't know if it'll ever happen. They talk about it all the time. It's never passed. But how does that affect the industry at that point if gambling is legalized? Do you shift over and just say, I'm going to be a casino?
Hopefully that brings us more options,
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna say, now I'm a
To
casino.
get more people in now. Like, yeah.
That's a whole different game. Like, I never thought about that.
But I mean, like I said, it's going all in, and the work that it's taken and the potential for the loss. Like, if I would have known all this from the beginning, like, I wouldn't have done it.
It's heartfelt, too. Like, that's...
Like, ooh, that chills.
Yeah, it's like, that hurts. Like, you can feel it.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine putting everything one day, everything you have, and I mean, I'm 45 years old. Like, I'm hoping to be closer to the end of my career than starting over. Having this, if this doesn't work, and having to start over at 45 with nothing.
That's man.
Man.
When you say it out loud like that, it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah. You want to try?
Yeah. Anybody else want to jump in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and it's something real to think about too, right? So like when you're making the decision to go into business for yourself, if you haven't yet, or you maybe you're in and you're in a you're the sole proprietor of a smaller business and you're going to buy into something bigger and do an acquisition, like I did. Like those are things that you have to think about because they you have to decide at some point like what's your threshold for risk. The only way you're ever going to succeed in entrepreneurship is the level of risk you're willing to accept. And that's what I tell people all the time. Like you can go work your and we're blessed because, and I've mentioned this a few times too. And if you haven't read it, go read any book from Robert Kiyosaki. It's the basic beginner, like start reading there. But he talks about, if you have the opportunity to start your own business and still have a W-2 job that, gives you the security that you need to live, do it and do it as long as you can. Like don't lose the W-2. But if you have that opportunity, then yeah. But I tell people all the time, and I think I was going to figure out this, is that the difference between the W-2 is it's low risk, right? You show up to work, you have your job, you're good.
Right.
And you have a high risk investment in moving into your own business. But there's a little flip there because once the business is established and running, it's so much more risky to have a W-2 job than to have your own business. So it's kind of, there's a shift at some point because a W-2 job, somebody else controls your fate. Whereas at least as an entrepreneur, you control your own fate. So that's a weird conundrum there to find that balance. And of course, we all know which side you're on at this point. Like you're on the I've got to get to the other side so it makes sense point. But that's a hard lick. So it's just a matter of what risk you're willing to put in. So obviously though, you're pretty confident that this is a path, like this is going to work.
It's going to work.
Well, there you go. So that's your motivation and driver, right? Like,
yeah, like talking to one of my best friends and telling him about some of the inside stuff and things that I've gone through and telling him everything that I've risked. And he's pretty well off. Him and his wife, have really well paying jobs and they're doing all that. And they have good investments and stuff on that other side. And he's like, dude, I don't know that I could have risked all this to start this. He's like, there's no way. Like, you're so brave and the courage you have to do this is just unreal. Like, I would never be able to do that.
YOLO.
I'm like, hey man, like,
might as well. I always tell Ashley when I make business decisions, I'm like, well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Like, go all in. Like, let's just keep going.
Yeah,
because you don't have an option, right?
No,
Once you're
you
in
don't.
so far, you don't really have an option to back out. You just have to go and make it work. And I mean, that's where you're at right now.
Right.
So you just mentioned like all the issues and struggles that you've been through and all that. Like, what surprised you the most so far? What was the biggest struggle you think that? Or maybe top 3, because looking into your face right now, I'm like, I can't narrow it down to one.
I mean, one of the biggest struggles is what you think is, I mean, just finding the right people. Like, we haven't even been open that long, and just finding the right people that, to just do the bare minimum.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is like nobody will ever run your business or like operate your business as well as you.
Right.
And that's a hard part. And then there's tiers of employees and pay. So of course, being a new business owner, of course, you don't want to pay a lot. So it's like, okay, I'm going to get me a $13 an hour employee to go do this basic job. But then there's no reliability. They're sick all the time. They're just can't function and do the job, or they're young, and young people nowadays have a very different work ethic than we do.
Different.
Um,
Very different. And we have a few that are great, that have that we're working with my wife prior experience, right? So they're great.
And you're going to go through a few, like, to find those,
right?
Like, which is tough. That's like really tough.
It was, and I think we have the right people in place now. But like I said, that was just something that was surprising, that it was like, yeah, nobody's going to put in the same kind of effort that you want to put in. And then the people that do, and I started on the other side of it, where it's like, I didn't want to offer low pay to get people that we didn't want. I started higher, so that not higher than what I that I can't do, but I started on the higher end so that I got that I thought that I was getting
Quality
quality people that like, oh man, you know, for what I'm getting paid and like what they're asking me to do, like I'm gonna perform at least here. But
well, and that's the goal, right? Like you just want to get somebody that can do like 70% of the way you would do it.
right.
Like you're not going to get somebody who does like you. So 70% is like
Yeah.
fantastic,
Right.
but it's so hard to find. And like I said, I've had to go through several people, unfortunately, the same way, where it's just not the right fit or weren't invested the way I needed them to be invested. And I'm sure every, you know, small business owner outside of they brought somebody, you know, they had a built-in ready package is going to run into that. And even then, like even with an acquisition, you don't know what you're going to get because you don't know what the old owner of the business may not have gotten rid of people. They may have been okay at this mediocre level, and then you go in and have to, you know, I'm not going to operate at that level, so now I've got to find people that will operate at my level. Right. So I could see that hiring is a struggle.
Yeah. And then, like you said, like, well, you end up losing this person if you're not okay with how they're performing. So, like, well, who's going to open the store this day? Who's going to be there working these hours that we need to be open? But like you said, we both have full-time jobs that we work during the day. So it's like, you know.
Well, and being so young in, you know, being open and stuff and still working heavily, of course, on marketing and getting people in the door to provide money to pay the bills, it's hard too because you don't have the redundancy that a lot of other businesses, established businesses, have.
Right.
Where other people can cover other people's jobs, or you have two people there, so it's okay if one person's not there or whatever.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's a whole other beast because you're operating on a smaller budget because you've got so much money tied up in everything else. Yeah.
And like I said, I mean, our employees that we have right now, they both have other full-time jobs too. You know?
Yeah, so they're working there and
they're working there and there.
Place,
and I mean, they're great, the ones that we have right now. Alma and Selena, they take really good care of us.
Well, that's good. That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, and that's the other piece too, right? So the key with hiring also, especially customer facing, you have to hire people that are going to take care of your customers.
Right.
Because if not, then you don't have customers.
Right.
And so that's a struggle, right? You get somebody with resting bitch face. They walk in and like they're not a nice person to talk to.
Right.
They're not friendly and all that. Right. All of a sudden your customer's like, yeah, I'm gonna go to this spot over here. Like, I like Jim over here, or I like, you know, Shonda who's working over here. She's great. She takes care of me, you know, all the time. So that's important too, trying to find the right people who interact with your customers the way that you want to interact with your customers.
Yeah, and exactly like my wife Rosie, like, I mean, she'll work a shift, right? And it's funny because, I mean, we have people, we're in North Austin, and we have people coming from the Hutto store, the Hutto area, that used to go visit her when she was working out there because she's there.
Well, I have the same problem here. We were talking about this. We took a break a few minutes ago to do some camera adjustments and stuff, and we were talking about this off air. But it's the same thing with Ashley. Like, I am not great with the customers, right? Like, I'm a military guy. I was a cop for a long time, so I'm a little rougher around the edges sometimes. And she's super sweet. So I'm pretty sure, like, people come to us just to work with Ashley at this point. Like, I kind of hide a little bit. So I'm like, just talk to her. She's way easier to work with. But it's the same concept, right? You have customers that just build that relationship, and that's what it's about. Business is about relationships.
Right.
We talked about this off air too. Man, we should have just kept the cameras on and talked all the time. We talked about this earlier too, was the marketing piece of it and getting out in front of people and, you know, being your brand. Right. Like, your brand is, you know, the clothing line or the shop or the establishment, but at the same time, you are the brand. Because if people come to your store and they don't like you, they will not come back to your store. But if they come to your store and they have a good experience, they like you as a person, and you're out talking to people and meeting people and learning about their families and their interests and all that, people feel wanted and they feel appreciated for coming to your establishment or buying your shirts or your hats or whatever. And so truly being a nice person and going out and talking to them and even your team, talking to them and treating them that way will bring them back, and they'll tell their friends and they will come back. And maybe that's why the clothing line works for me, because it's directed at, you know, a lot of people that think like me, that realize and accept the fact that maybe I'm a little rough around the edges, and that's okay, you know? So that's back to the hiring thing too. You got to have people, you know, like Rosie, who I don't want to say Rosie's hired because she's invested,
Right.
but that people come back for.
Right. Right. We have those. And, you know, and that was one of the things I didn't think about when we were talking as far as like doing more so promotion of myself instead of, you know, just the game room and just talking about Lucky Tiger all the time or just talking about, you know, that establishment and what we offer. Like, what about the things that I'm doing in the store that entertain people? Like, you know, I mean, on Tuesdays, like we have pizza night. On Wednesdays, we have Wheel Wednesday where they get to spin a wheel and win some extra, you know, free play. You know, Thursdays we do a tournament. You know, it's just all things that I've come up with to like try and help us out. We, you know, we do customer appreciation parties once a month where we have food and games and prizes and
Well,
things like
you
that.
say helping us out, but at the same time, it's providing an extra experience for your customer.
Right.
Right. So it's not even like, yeah, there's always in that back, like, okay, we need to bring more people in because it is a business, right? In any
Right.
business, we need to bring more customers in, and we shouldn't be shy to talk about that because if we are, then we're undermining our customers' intelligence, right? Like
Right.
they know we're there to make money.
Right.
But at the same time, especially in your industry, and we say gaming, and everybody, of course, automatically thinks gambling, but gambling is the same thing. It's the experience that they're after. It's the
Right.
enjoyment of the experience. Because I know I go to Vegas and actually gamble,
Uh-huh.
and I lose a bunch of money, and I have to remind myself that this is for entertainment purposes.
Right.
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 Like I'm gonna lose money because
Yeah.
it's entertainment. And so the game rooms are the same thing. It's entertainment purposes.
Right. But we want to provide extra things for entertainment also.
Absolutely,
right?
because it's the
You know?
experience.
Right. Like I said, and we give back. And then like those other things that we have going on that don't have anything to do with the gaming, you know, just, you know.
So I wonder how you involve your clientele in those types of things too. Like, so is that something that you advertise? Like, do they know that you're involved in all these things?
Yeah, like so we have a Facebook page, right?
Okay.
And we also have a website, but on our Facebook page more so we get all our like our schedule, what we got going on for the week, and you know, we promote the
Well, no, I mean like the charitable things. Like,
Oh
is that
yeah. Yeah,
something
like
you
I
guys
mean
push?
we
And
have
is there-
them we run events, you know, like I said, we haven't been open for that long where
Sure.
we've had to big events necessarily with our nonprofits like that are combined, but we, you know, like the Food for All thing, like we provide you know, incentives for them to come in and bring us cans so we can donate food to them and things like that. And some of the other charities we, you know, we're still trying to figure out that right niche to involve them more so with working hand in hand with us to bring in people so that we can be able to give more back, you know.
Yeah, this is a fun one for me. Like honestly, like this is one of the cool episodes because it's different. I coming into this, I didn't know anything about like the back end of the business, right? I just know what a game room is.
Right.
And of course, I've never even been to a game room. I've only been to like the ones in like the smoky bars.
Yeah.
Which are not the best
Right.
reference point, of course.
Right.
So I need to come out to yours and check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
I am going to start taking this show on the road a little bit. I've noticed that too, talking to people that have established businesses and stuff. Like it'd be fun to go out and do follow-ups and just kind of be like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah, we'd love to have you.
Remember
out.
episode 4, we talked about this and I'm here there.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, our parties are themed, so we try and make it a little fun. Like we have one coming up Saturday, which I don't know, this probably won't come out before Saturday, but it's carnival themed. So I got some games that are going to be set up that are going to be interesting. Like we're going to do like ring toss, right? But they're not just regular bottles. We're going to be tossing them on Bud Light. So you're going to win some Bud Light. You get those rings on there,
There
you know,
you go.
just something different. We are BYOB too, so you can bring your own thing, you know, so
Yeah.
that's on you to be responsible for that, obviously. But we also provide like sodas, complimentary. We have some snacks like chips and cookies
That was my
and
next
different
question. You got
different
snacks?
things
'Cause
like that, you know.
like a
Hey,
snack.
everybody loves snacks, you know. You want to sit around and play a little bit.
I need to
we
start
got
using some carrot sticks or
We got some
something.
snacks. Oh, hey, maybe we need to get on the healthy
You
trend
see
for
what I'm
that
saying?
too.
Hey, you got a whole other thing. Come to our game room and get healthy and have fun.
See, but that's another expense. Healthy stuff's way more expensive than junk.
Here we go, another 0 hour after hours. Like, let's go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna start another podcast after this
Yeah.
now, just because there's so many things to talk about on
Right.
that aspect.
Yeah. But
So
I mean, one of our fun events that we did, we have a friend that owns a tequila business, and he came out and did a tasting at the game room, and that was awesome. Like it was
Tequila
super
business,
fun.
is it?
Dos Cuernos
Okay.
tequila.
I'm gonna reach out to him.
Yeah.
I need to have a
Yeah,
tequila guy
I'll
on the
I'll
show.
get you in contact with him.
That'd be a great one
His
to have.
tequila is amazing. Okay, so
I'm on a mission to talk to as many business owners as I
yeah,
can,
and he's local.
and just get. I don't even care if they're across the country. I'll
Hey,
jump
let's
on
go.
do remote. Like, I'm gonna talk to as many as I can because
Right.
I learned so much from this, and I mean, you know me for a long time. I love to learn,
Yeah.
which is ironic because I didn't graduate high school, but I love to learn. I love to go out and learn new things, and especially since I've gotten into business, it's been even better. And so, with the podcast, I just really want to share that with other people.
Right.
And this is a great platform to do it, and so it's awesome. But you said the hardest thing you expected. We talked about that, so I'm gonna give you hopefully an easy one. What's the easiest thing that you've run into with your business? There's got to be at least one.
The easiest thing, like I said, for me was, I'm really good at talking to people. I think being with my job and
Sure.
since working in the schools, I do a lot of presentations
Yeah.
and those kinds of things. So I'm really good at relating with people and building those kind of relationships. So that's been really easy for me. And then being the person to be out there and be entertaining and running the parties.
Oh, see, then the marketing piece we were talking about, you should have no problem.
Yeah.
You just got the time.
But I didn't never think of it that
Yeah.
way. Like this is all learning things for me too. And that's that's one of the things I'm going to take away from here that I really appreciate, that I'm going to push that and push myself out there more instead of just the things that we have going on, and maybe go live more and push things that's going on inside the store. You can see, like, I could talk about it all day, but you don't see people in there having fun, you're not going to know.
That's it too. Yeah. If you have, you have a small clientele that goes to game rooms and attends those,
right?
But you have a lot of people that would probably go if they knew what to expect, right? Like, so if I saw you live and I saw in the background, you're showing me kind of what the place is and all that, it's not as much of a shock to me as far as going in.
Right.
I'm a little less apprehensive because, again, they don't have a great reputation in a lot of circles because of, just bad stuff that's happened in others. And really, probably by numbers, it's probably not that many. If you look at like how many game rooms there are versus how many incidents there are, it's probably doesn't even compare. It's just a matter of that's what we hear.
Right.
So if you can go out and show people like, hey, this is what's happening. This is what it is. This is what we're doing. It's a good time. Come out here. You could probably encourage people that way.
Yeah. And like I said, being like with the reputation that game rooms have, I would be willing to go out on everything that I've pretty much invested in. Other than our franchises, you will not find another game room that is as clean and nice and open and as legit as what we have going on.
That's really cool. If you were going to do it, I know we talked about you wouldn't have done it, but if you were going to do it over again, what would you do differently? Like, what would you change?
I would definitely probably take more responsibility as far as like coverage of the store and shifts and things like that, more so on myself with the extra time that I had than putting it on like finding other people and extra people to help keep like costs and payroll and those kinds of things. Like I would have taken more of that. I mean, I was always in the store anyway, but like if I was already in there, why am I not working the shift instead of why am I paying an extra person? Why, that you'd be surprised at how fast that payroll runs way up.
Absolutely. And it's really easy to do.
Yes.
Like, it's really easy to be like, why am I doing this? I could free myself up and you could do this. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, most people, I'll take that back. I'll retract that. I won't say most people. A lot of people that get into business are like you and I that want to be business owners.
Right.
Like, I want to own the business. I don't want to be a business operator.
Right.
But some people love that. Like, I have plenty of people that I've worked with over the years that are business owners, or business operators, and they have their own business and they go out, they bang the hammer and do their thing. But I want to be a business owner at some point to where I can go on vacation when I want, or not have to worry about my store, or my, brand line operating the way it needs to run. And so, yeah, it's really easy to get into that mindset of, okay, I'm going to be an owner right off the bat and go, when realistically, probably need to be an operator.
And definitely know, like, I mean, you want to be an entrepreneur and you have this idea to start something. Like, do you fully know every single niche and everything about that idea? Like your idea to start a t-shirt business, like, do you know like the inks that you're going to need? Do you know how many, like, what kind of bulk orders are you going to need to have? Do you know your profit and loss margin that you're going to need to know? Like, that was, I mean, know all the admin side stuff of it. That was probably also
That
like,
was hard
I'm
for me
still
too.
learning.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
still
gonna say,
learning. Like,
even on the, and not even just the admin side, even on the operational production side, when I acquired Big T's, it was, I had been running and I thought I knew a lot about the industry, right? I knew how to do t-shirts and embroidery and all that. And I got in here and I had to learn so much more because I had never had an automatic press. I didn't know how different things worked and then the different variations of ink. Right. And there was a lot of stuff to learn.
right.
But yeah, had I,
So know that, like, can you fill every position that you need for this to run? Can you do every single job that every person
and
here
if you
can do?
can't, you need to be able
You
to.
need to be able to.
I actually had a phone call yesterday with a mentor of mine, and we were talking about that. He recently had two employees that were no longer able to stay on for various reasons, and so he had to kind of step back in and do those roles. And he didn't know how to do them. He's at an owner level, right? So he has to jump in and do them now to fill. And he said it was eye opening because it was like he realized A, what they were doing, and right. B, how he could combine it and run it differently. But now he knows the ins and outs of that piece of the business that he didn't have before. Right. So yeah, that's good advice. Like, get in there and work the job. Right. Know how to do it.
Know every position.
Yeah, because there's a good chance that at some point you're going to have to fill that position,
right?
as the employee.
One of the spots, I mean, being that we have a lot of technology because of the computers and the stand-ups and those kinds of things, like, we have support for that. Thank God. Like, if a machine goes down, like, yeah, I can unplug it and plug it back in. I can reconnect it to the internet, but I don't know how to fix the internals of a computer.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So what does your success look like a year from now? Like, where do you want to be?
Where do I want to be? I want to be, I guess, like, from what I've learned from this show, like, I mean, I want to put myself out there and market myself so that I don't have to be at the store the whole time. You know, I don't have to be at the store every weekend. I don't, you know, I want to be an owner. I want to be able to step back and be an owner and go there and engage with my guests and, like, have a good time with them. Sure. Like, that's what I want. And I want to be able to engage more with my nonprofits and be able to give back to these things that are so important to me.
Yeah. No, I'll tell you, I'm just over a year in from the acquisition of Big T's. And for the first year, Ashley and I were in the grind. The first 6 months, we were working 17-hour days until 0 dark 30, and then on the weekends. Like, the first 3 months, I think we didn't go home at all. Like, it was 7 days a week we were
right.
There. And now it's finally, we're a year in, and I've promoted a manager, and I've got enough staff here in the right places now, the right people, that we spent the last couple of weeks where we've stepped back a little bit and been able to come and go as we please. And I'm able to focus more on, the forward-facing things, like we talk about, the social media, the marketing, the interacting with customers. On the 0-hour side, the Big T side, Ashley deals with a lot of the customers on that because they love her, and it's just the way it works. But 0 hour is my baby, and so that's the one that I'm focusing on and pushing, right? So it's been so nice, and it just frees you up. But I'm going to tell you right now, you got a little grind ahead of you. You got a little bit of time where
we definitely do. Like I said, the goal is, we did this so that we can enjoy our lives and our time while we still are, young enough, and to be able to be there for our kids. So, I mean, like I said, working all the off-duty jobs constantly on my time off, on my extra time that I have, I'm missing out on time. So that's
it, though. It's an investment, right? Not just cash, but a time. But the payoff at the end of it, so I'm told, is worth it, right?
Right.
But it's the grind. Like, we're sold a lot on social media and things like get rich quick schemes, and just start a business, you're gonna make so much money doing this. I look at that one, like cleaning trash cans, like, you make so much money cleaning trash cans. Like,
then everybody would do it.
And that's it, right? If this was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
it's not easy. It's a grind.
It's not.
You have to come in and grind, and you are going to work your ass off for
Right.
the first couple of years.
Right.
Until everything's moving and in place, and you have procedures, and you have employees and teams that can functionally run your business the way you want to run. So that's gonna be a pain. Well, man, I wish you luck. I know you're gonna do it. I'm excited. I appreciate you coming on the show. So where are you guys located? Like, where are you guys at?
So we're located on 5501 North Lamar Boulevard.
Okay.
We're suite C121.
Has a big sign?
You'll see a big sign that says Lucky Tiger 777 on there.
All right.
I mean, we're right by, almost across the street from Dan's Hamburgers. If you know where Dan's Hamburgers is,
So you go over to get Dan's Hamburgers and then go over to the shoot.
Dude, bring Dan's Hamburgers in.
Hey,
you can bring food
we're about
in.
to have a date night.
Hey, let's go. We don't
time.
allow smoking, but we are, like I said, BYOB, so you can enjoy yourself responsibly, just like you would go, so you can be there, enjoy yourself. We got TVs that will have, like, the games on and different, things going on, stuff like that, so there's all kinds of things.
Sweet. And then people can find you on Facebook, you said? You guys have an Instagram?
We're on Instagram, too.
Okay.
You can find us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. All our events and things like that are going out.
I'll link all that stuff in the bio too, so that our listeners and
one of the new things on Sundays. If you're bored, come by when we open at 12 from 12:30 to 2:30. We got complimentary mimosas.
Hey,
it's like a little bit of mimosa action. Come by.
Well, cool, man, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anybody that comes on the show, nobody ever leaves empty-handed. So I got you a couple things.
Oh man, appreciate that.
So first and foremost, let me move this mic over. First and foremost, of course, is the Lucky Tiger 777's hat. So we got to get one of those for you.
Awesome. That's nice.
And then, I'm always going to push my baby 0 hour.
Oh, man.
So I got you a 0 hour hat.
You already know it. I can't wait to get my shirt on and
awesome.
wear it around. Man, I appreciate that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I got you some stuff, too. I got you a couple koozies. All right. There's another one over there. Got you that koozie there.
Got my Lucky Tiger.
I got you I got Lucky shirt from Lucky Tiger.
Awesome.
Right? So you got Lucky.
I got Lucky and Lucky
you got to come by to come get
Lucky.
Lucky.
I got to make sure I can wear the shirt properly.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, cool. I will tag all your stuff on there.
Appreciate it.
Then, again, if you're listening and you enjoy the podcast, I really appreciate it. You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and like. Subscribe on Spotify, too. And then go check out my website, zerohourusa.com for your 0 hour swag. Otherwise, we'll catch you on episode 5. Let's go build something awesome.